back to the second video tutorial on how to create VFX in Unity. Today we're going to make this aura effect or a magic circle, whichever you want to call it. We're going to create this using alpha textures. With textures, I created everything in Photoshop. It is very straightforward and simple. This one is a dot, and this one is a dot that got squashed. And this is a rectangle. That is a circle that has been erased in the center. And this is a room circle. Basically, I Google alien font and then type that in, and that's what I have. As you can notice, everything is white, and that is for a reason. Everything has to be white so that it's easier to blend or multiply in Unity. It gives us more control. However, you can have as many colors as you want. It's just keep in mind that when you add more color to it, it apply and it changed based on your color that you have. So having white meaning that whatever color value you have in Unity will be that color. Yeah, let's dive into it. First thing first, I dragged all the textures in there. You can just drag and drop it in there, and naming it will be easier. I got a lot more going on because I was playing around with these. I'll be explaining how to create a little bit complex one on the later video tutorials. Anyway, and then to make it a textures, we're gonna make it into a material. As you can see, I already got everything done, but I'm gonna show you how to do them right now. I'm gonna delete this one, pretend that never happened. First thing to do, create, and we're gonna create a material. We're gonna call this test. Oh look, it's back. Anyway, we're gonna change the shader from lightweight to, let's see, particles additive. What? Okay, additive. And then what that is, it blends in the color and the shape, and it blends the texture with the color and the shape that we have. And then the next thing you have to do is simply just like drag one of those in there, and then boom, texture is done. But we're gonna delete that one because it's a test. Already got everything done. So, and then we're gonna hide this one so it doesn't distract us, and then start from new. So first thing, I'm gonna create a folder, and then we're gonna rename this Aura 2. And within that folder, we're gonna create a particle system. And then we're gonna start with the polygons, the little rectangle thing that was rotating. Since we have two, I'm gonna name this 1. And then use the polygon texture that we created, drag that in there, and then as you can see, circle already changed to rectangles. But we don't need this many, so we're gonna change the maximum particles to maybe 1. Because we only need 1. And then we obviously we don't want any speed to go on with these because it was on the ground, it was just rotating. So we're gonna change the speed to 0 so that it's very stable in one place. And then we don't want shape because everything needs to be constant. And then we go down there, see renders. We're gonna change the render mode from billboard to horizontal billboard. What that basically did is it stretched, I mean not stretched, it just flipped it to the ground. And that's pretty much, we're seeing the result that we wanted, kind of. Excuse me. And then we're gonna make it rotate. We're gonna use rotate over time so that over time it rotates. And down here, the angular velocity changes how fast that thing goes. You can have it as fast as you want. Like if you have it as 90, it gets faster. And it's not showing up in our game view because it's not in the camera. Where's the camera? Okay, there's the camera. Okay, so you see how tiny our particle is and how big the camera we have. So we're gonna change the size. Let's see, where is start size to 3 would be enough, I think. You can have as big as you want. And we're gonna maybe move this to the camera view so we can see it in the game view. Whoa, that's not what we want. we're gonna move this to the camera view. Where is it? Oh, damn it. Move it away. There it is. Aha. And then we see, there we go. We have it right there. And that's pretty much pretty much it with this one. You can obviously play around with this and like change color as you want, but I'm gonna leave this white because we got something more cool to show than just I don't know what to say. Color over time. What that is it will change color over time. So you can have as many color as you want, and in between, it will change in between those colors. So for example, let's change that one to like maybe red. That is not red. This is red. Change that to red. It will start with red, and then have it end in like maybe blue or green, whichever you want. And then as you can see, it start off as white, red, and it slowly fades to green. And if you noticed, it went from green to red very, very fast. We want that thing to like kind of phase in and fade up, and that's what the alphas comes into play. So that's the beginning of the transition. So we're gonna change that to maybe 0, and that's the ending of the alpha, also to 0, so it fades in. And then we're gonna add one approximately in the middle, have that all the way in the center, and crank that thing all the way out. As you can see, we're getting this slowly phase in and fade up animation that we have, color blend that we want. And that's pretty much it for this one. It's very straightforward, and we're gonna duplicate this one. As you can see, we're gonna duplicate this one, and then we're gonna name this to the second one. And to give it more variety, we're gonna change the rotation over time from positive to negative, so it's going to the different direction. Look at that, it's already looking pretty cool. And you can like change the colors you want with this one, you know, doesn't have to be the same color. Maybe I'm thinking, let's see, have that one to be yellow, or this one to be like purple, because why not? And right away you can see the results. Might be simple, but it's definitely pretty cool. And then the next thing we're gonna do is the words, the room words that's around it. And I'm gonna zoom in a bit so we can kind of see this effect more clearly. Alright, we can create another particle system, move that in our folder. Name this one words, literally just words. And then another thing we do, a lot of these particles are built on top of each other, so if I delete this one, I can duplicate this one and then name this word, name this a differently, and then use a different texture because the foundation is the same, is the adjustment in the property that we change. So if I change it to that, it's already doing the circular motion that we wanted, and it's pretty much done. But with this one, I want this one to rotate a little bit slower, so we're gonna maybe change that to like 45. Yeah, look at that. And if we play the whole thing, it's pretty dope. And then we're gonna have this one, maybe have it last a little bit longer. So lifetime maybe to 10. So it's like it's always there. It's slowly rotating. Look at that. Okay. Next thing I think is the kind of the pulse effect that we have. Again, you can duplicate this, and then I'm gonna rename this to ring. And then to build on top of that, let's see, put that in there. Obviously our ring is not like that. Our ring kind of just expand out a little bit. To do that, we're gonna have to change the size over lifetime. So And then we have this graph right here. If you click on the graph, it will show up down here. If you don't see it, you simply just have to kind of drag that up a little bit. And there it is. So up here is the size, controls the size, and this is the duration. So as you can see, it's kind of slowly phase out. We wanted to do it a little bit faster and maybe not start from like ground zero. Maybe have it, well, we want straight lines. Maybe have it start in the middle. That's kind of slow. Okay, it's a little bit slow. We can change the size of it. Maybe, let's see, bigger than what we have. There it is. And then have it phase up. Again, you can play with the numbers and see which one you like the most. I'm liking the size right now, and we can change. Having one is not enough. We have two, so we're gonna adjust the particle, maximum particle, to like 2, so it shows 2 or not. Let's see. Oh, emissions. Maybe if I change that to 2, there it is. Change that to 2, and as you can see, we got 2 going on. Lifetime is a little bit long. We want to kind of have like a little bit of burst effect, so we're gonna shorten the time that we have. As you can see, it burst 2 and it stopped. That's the effect that we're looking for. But as you can see, that it's not very great. It's just kind of stopped. It's not doing that in our scene view, but it's doing it in the game view. It's probably have something to do with the camera because it's zoomed too much in. So if I zoom out a little bit and then play this thing, there it is. It's phase away and phase out. I think that might be a little bit too big. So maybe we can decrease the size from like 10 to maybe 8. That'll work. Then you can like change the size, the speed, the size over live speed. What the? Why did it just phase away? Oh, because everything is selected. If it's too fast for you, obviously you can like change it to make it slower or faster. Let's see. I'm liking this one right now, so we're gonna keep it that way. And the next thing is dots. For this one, we're gonna create a brand new one because it's very different from the other one, where the other ones is pretty stable in one places. This one we want it to put like kind of like energy coming out of the ground feel. We're gonna change this to dots, and then import our dot material. Do it. Position. Again, I don't think it's right. It's on the right position, so we're gonna have to zero this out. What the? That's not the position. Well, none of these are in the right position. Alright, so we're gonna change everything. We're gonna make everything to the center, to the world point. And then obviously we're gonna adjust the camera a bit so we can see it in game. There it is. Cool. Check our effects. Still going. And dots. Too much, a little bit, and too big. To do that, we can change the start size. Let's see. We want it to start. Where's start size? There it is. If you want, we don't want. If you can make it, we can make it faster and slower if we want. I think with energy like slowly coming up and coming in, 1 is a decent speed, and maybe change the lifetime to like 3 because we don't want that thing to last forever. 2 will work actually. Maximum particle, definitely 1000 is a bit much. I'm gonna change it to maybe 10. I think 10 is a good amount of number. And then from size, it's too big. We're gonna change the size to 0.5. That's a little bit of what we wanted. Maybe increase the particle to 100 because we want that thing to like move constantly. We want that thing to keep coming up. It's like, you know, energy leaking out. Emissions, we don't have to do that. Size over life. We're gonna have it start off big and then slowly kind of just phase away. Now that's more like it. And then we're gonna go to shaped. Right now it's set to coned. You can keep it as cone, but I'm gonna change the angle down a little bit so that it stay within the ring area that we have. And honestly, that's pretty cool looking right now. Maybe too big, still too big. Let's change that to 0.3. I think that's enough. That's pretty good. And to add, I don't think you need to have variety of shapes because circles, they don't really change like shapes. They're just circles. But one thing we can do, we can have a velocity over time. Have that so certain energies are faster than one another. Oh wait, that's not it. That's not what that is. I was completely wrong. I am so sorry. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. And we can, you know, colors, you can do whatever you want with it. I'm gonna leave it blank for now. And then to add more variety to it, I'm gonna duplicate this and we're gonna name this light. And then with this one, it's pretty much the same thing, but we're gonna change the texture a little bit. So we have both circle and a light feel. And right away you notice maybe there's a little bit too much now that we have 2 in there. So we're gonna change the maximum particle from that to 50. Change that to 50 so it adds up to 100. Just the right amount of it. And then we're gonna have this one to be a little bit faster than the other one, so that people can see the difference. Look at that. And we really don't want, actually, do we want that thing to go all the way up? It's up to you guys. I think it's working pretty decent if we have it go all the way up. It's like you know, it's more of a portal. It's like, hey, coming in there, this will take you somewhere that you'll be powerful. That kind of feel. And yeah, that's pretty much that's it for that one. And then to add more to it, we're gonna add a final step of glow in there, and then we're gonna name this what you call ground light. Ground light. No, we're gonna call this glow. We call this glow, and we're gonna use the same texture that we have. But with this one, we want it to stay in one place. We do not want that thing to spread up. So, change, just get rid of shape. Change that to center. So it's kind of got like, you know, this is the main source of the energy that's causing this area to happen. Obviously we want this to be a little bit bigger and maybe slow it down a bit. Slow it down a bit and have it to be, you know, maybe size of 2. And let's kind of change the emission maybe to like 2 so that it doesn't have that pure whiteness into it. And let's see what else we can do. Size over life, to give it, we don't want it, we're gonna want it to start big and then slowly fades away to give it a more like, hey, energy is coming up. Again, same idea. It's just that it's all about like pretty much playing with the numbers and stuff. And that's pretty much it. Have it as constant. I think that's about it. You know, energy coming up. Oh, if you want, so as you can see, we got this like kind of pausing effect in there to hide that thing. We can kind of create a light, ground light. Let's see, create particles, and then change this to ground light, and then have zero shape. Again, adjust the position itself to the center. Change, well, right now we kind of can't see what that one is, so I'm gonna change the color just so I know which. Ooh, that's actually kind of pretty cool to add that in there. Slight energy is leaking out. Oh, that's pretty dope. But that's not what we wanted. We only want two, not two. We wanted to stay in one place, so 1. 0 speed, obviously. We want that thing to stay in the ground. And then right away you can see that it's blocking the pausing effect that we have. Maybe change that size to 2. To give it that glow feeling. And then if we play this, and then if we have the glow itself the same color as the ground light, you cannot see a thing. Look at that. And that's pretty much it with this particle itself. Let's see. As you can see that the particle itself is done. And then towards the end you can change the color whatever you want. And then if you play around with it, you can like adjust the number upon your feeling, how fast it go, and whatever you like you can do it, and eventually you will get something that's similar to that one. So I'm gonna hide this one and then play the original one that we have, and then yeah, that's it. See that thing right there? It's in the corner. And that's pretty much it with this one. Actually, I can show you side by side. Side by side. So this is the one that we created. This is one that I created. Very similar. Very similar. As you can see, all the elements are there. This one I've spent a lot more time on this. The reason you're seeing this one like kind of curving way is because it's set to logo. So it will show you that view no matter where you turn. So if you just have it in the right angle, you can have it. And that is it. And sorry for my lack of Englishness, I guess. English is not my first language, but thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.